Hey friends, Tony here from TL Yarn Crafts with another fun and free crochet pattern. This is the Pilsen Blanket, a patchwork baby Afghan. Modern yet sweet, the Pilsen Blanket is here to steal your heart. Mix and match your favorite colors to complement your nursery decor, or pull yarn from your closet for the ultimate stash buster. No matter what yarn you choose, the Pilsen Blanket will keep your babe warm through the coldest winters. While watching this video, I encourage you to follow along with the written Pilsen blanket pattern, which is available for free on my blog, TLYCblog.com. You can also pick up a PDF version of the pattern, which includes modifications for 10 different blanket sizes. You can find the PDF version for sale on my site, TLYarncrafts.com. Links to both of these resources are in the description below. If you're excited to make the Pilsen blanket with me today, please take a moment to like this video and consider subscribing to my channel for even more free crochet patterns, product reviews, and tutorials. The original sample of the Pilsen blanket was made with We Crochet's Wool of the Andes Tweed, which is a category 4 worsted weight yarn. The main color is Picket Fence Heather, and you will need 6 balls to make the crib size blanket. You'll also need 2 balls each of 4 accent colors. I used Maple Heather, Farmhouse Heather, Apple Blossom Heather, and Olive Heather. Click the link in the description to browse these and other yarns from We Crochet. For this tutorial, I'm making a tiny sample of the Pilsen blanket using some neutral worsted weight yarns I found in my stash. You'll also need a 6.5mm crochet hook, a 6mm crochet hook, scissors, and a tapestry needle. Luckily, you don't need a Tunisian crochet hook to make the Pilsen blanket. Since this blanket is made from strips that are joined as you go, you'll have no more than 22 loops on your hook at a given time. That means you can use a traditional crochet hook to make this blanket. Just make sure the hook has no ergonomic features or embellishments on the handle. I'll be using this pretty hook from Premier. To begin our blanket, we need to reference the Pilsen blanket color chart. We'll start with the vertical strip on the far left of our blanket, working from the bottom up. The first block in the first strip uses the main color, which in my case is this deep gray. For the body of our blanket, we're using a 6.5mm crochet hook. We'll start by making a slip knot, however you'd like to do that. Then we'll insert our hook, tighten down the knot, and begin by chaining 22. So we're going to yarn over, pull through for 1, here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Then we're going to flip our chain over to the back and find these back bumps. That's what we'll be working into. So we're going to skip the first chain, find the second chain, and insert our hook into the back bump of that chain, yarn over and pull up a loop, and leave that loop on our hook. We'll do that for each chain down the row. Insert in the bump, yarn over, pull up the loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up the loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up the loop. And you'll know you did it properly if at the end you have the same number of loops on your hook as you did in your starting chain. Once we've gathered our 22 loops, it's time to work them off the hook. So we'll begin our return pass by yarning over and pulling up 1 loop for a chain 1. And then we'll follow that by yarning over and pulling through the next 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And we'll repeat that until there's just 1 loop left on the hook. With our foundation complete, we can move into our Tunisian simple stitch rows. The first loop on our hook counts as our first stitch, so we'll skip this first vertical bar, insert your hook into the second vertical bar, which is here between my thumbs. So from right to left under that bar, yarn over, and pull up a loop. And we'll do that for each bar across. Insert in the next bar, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert in the next bar, yarn over, pull up a loop. Continue pulling up loops in your vertical bars and meet me at the end of the row. I'll show you something special we'll do for the last stitch. Here at the last stitch, we'll need to do something special. So rotate your work towards you, and you're going to find that there is a front bar on this last stitch And tucked right behind it is a back bar. Right there. We want to make sure our hook gets under both of these bars. To work this stitch, go ahead and insert your hook under both of those bars, just double checking that I caught them both. Yarn over and pull up a loop to complete that stitch. Again, you should have 22 loops on your hook at the end of this forward pass, and now we can work the return pass. Yarn over, pull through 1, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, until there is 1 loop left on the hook. The Tunisian simple stitch is the only stitch used for the body of the Pilsen blanket pattern. Let's do one more row of Tunisian simple stitches together. Remember that this first loop on our hook counts as our first stitch, so we're skipping this first vertical bar. Insert your hook into the next vertical bar from right to left, yarn over, and pull up the loop. Insert in the next bar, yarn over, pull up a loop. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, and we'll do that for each vertical bar across the row until we get to our very last stitch. Here at our last stitch, make sure you insert under both loops of that last stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. For the return pass, start with the chain 1, then yarn over, pull through 2 until there's just 1 loop left on the hook. So we'll want to continue working in Tunisian simple stitch until we have 17 total rows, and then I'll show you how we'll change color and continue up our vertical strip. I'm nearly done with my 17th row, and I want to stop when I have 2 loops left on my hook. At this point, I can cut my working color, leaving a long tail, and I want to switch to my next color in my chart. I'll be using this cream color for my next color, so I'm going to leave a nice long tail of that, yarn over my hook, and pull through those last 2 loops with my new color. Then at this point, I can continue in my Tunisian simple stitch rows for 17 rows with this color and continue changing color as shown in the Pilsen blanket color chart. Once your strip is complete, join me back here and I'll show you how we'll fasten off and begin our next strip of color. Once all of the color blocks in our first strip are complete, we can bind off. To bind off, find the next stitch, insert, yarn over, and pull through both loops on the hook. Insert, yarn over, pull through both loops for a slip stitch. Insert, yarn over, pull through both loops. And we'll do that all the way down the row, being sure to pick up both loops of the last stitch for the final slip stitch. Cut your yarn to fasten off and join me back here and we'll put our second panel onto our project. We're adding panels as we go to the right of the panels already made. So to do that, we need to find the first stitch of the first row from our first panel. On that first stitch, you'll see a front bar and a back bar. And just behind that back bar, there's a third bar. We'll want to make sure we insert our hook under the back bar and the third bar together. Grab your new color, leave a long tail, yarn over, and pull up the loop. Now we'll want to chain 21 for our foundation. So yarn over, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull up the loop for your chains, and repeat until you have 21 total chains. As before, we want to flip our chain over and work into the back bumps. So we're going to skip our first chain and go to our second chain, insert our hook in that back bump, yarn over and pull up a loop. Insert into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. And we'll do this until we have 21 loops on our hook. From here, insert your hook into the back and third loop that we joined in, yarn over and pull up the loop. That's your 22nd stitch for this row. For our return pass, we will not do a chain 1. Instead, you want to jump right into yarning over and pulling through the next 2 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, until there's just 1 loop left on the hook. For the next row, work in Tunisian simple stitch until you have 21 loops on your hook. Then I'll show you how we'll join our second row of stitches to the second row of stitches on our first strip. At the end of the forward pass on our next row, we need to find the back loop and the third loop for the next row on our first strip. And here they are. We've got our back loop and our third loop. So make sure you insert your hook under both of those loops. Yarn over and pull up the loop. That is your 22nd stitch for this second row. Again, for the return pass, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we'll continue in this way, adding Tunisian simple stitch rows onto our strip, joining to the first strip as we go, and where appropriate, change color for your next blocks. I'm going to continue up my strip, bind off after my last block, and then I'll show you how we'll add a border to our project. And here's my finished sample. I did take a moment to weave in my ends. You will notice though that our sample is pretty curly on the bottom as well as the top. This is normal for Tunisian crochet. We have 3 rounds of a border going on, which should help some, but you will want to plan to block your project at the end. We'll start our border by inserting our 6mm hook in the first stitch of our bind off on the far right strip. Yarn over with your main color and pull up a loop for a slip stitch join. Follow that by a chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch. Single crochet in the following stitch and each stitch along this top edge of the blanket. Meet me back here when you get to the first corner. Once we've worked all the stitches along our top edge, we'll chain 2 and that'll become our corner. Now rotate your project to work along the left edge and we're going to single crochet in each of those stitches. So that's the repeat for this round. Single crochet across the edge, chain 2 at the corner, single crochet across the next edge. We'll finish up by joining with a slip stitch in the first single crochet of the round. To start this second round of our border, start with a chain 1, single crochet in the same stitch as the join, and then single crochet in each stitch along this top edge. Continue until you get to the first chain 2 space. At the chain 2 space, we're going to place a single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet again in that space. Now we'll rotate our work to work along the next edge and single crochet in each stitch down that edge. We'll continue in this way, working a single crochet into each stitch along our edges, and then a single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet in our chain 2 spaces. We'll finish this round and change color at the same time. Insert into the first single crochet of the round, grab your third round border color, yarn over, and pull through all loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Followed by a chain 1, and in that first single crochet, we're going to single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet in that same space again. Skip the next single crochet, and in the following single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet again. And that's our border repeat. Skip the next stitch, single crochet, chain 3, single crochet in the same stitch again. For our corners, we're going to single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet again like we've been doing before. And we'll finish this round by placing a single crochet in the first single crochet of the round. Finish your project by weaving in your ends, then lightly block your blanket to its finished dimensions. If you're new to blocking, click the video that just popped up in the right-hand corner for a quick tutorial. Well, thank you so much for joining me to make the Pilsen blanket today. I would absolutely love it if you shared your projects with me on Instagram by tagging at @TLYarncrafts and using hashtag Pilsen blanket. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.